Welcome back to Stories. It's me, Miss Red. We were just here, what was it, 2 days ago? 3 days ago? It feels like it was just yesterday. Yes! Well, we're back and we got even more Christmas stories. And I got all my hyper energy out playing all the games. I hope you did too. Because now we're going to settle in. There's some My Story refreshments in the gingerbread house back there. Oh, yeah, I bet. And don't forget to pick up your presents under the tree and on the stockings hanging on the wall on either side of the tree. While we cozy on in with some snacks and cocoa and read some stories together. Our first story for the day is Snowbaby Could Not Sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was too excited. Anybody else couldn't sleep? The Snowbaby couldn't. Neither could I. Let's figure out why. That's right. No sleep. Okay. It was a snowy, windy, cozy winter night, and everyone had gone to bed. Good night. But Snowbaby would not sleep. I can't sleep, he said to Snow Papa. I'm not tired yet. Try counting snowflakes, said Snow Papa, and so he did. 1 snowflake, 2 snowflake. But Snowbaby would not sleep. I can't sleep, he said to Snow Mama. I'm too hot. Ugh. Snow Mama put an extra blanket of snow on his bed. Ooh. But Snowbaby would not sleep. I can't sleep still, he said to Snow Papa. Will you sing to me, please? Snow Papa sang Winter Wonderland. Then he sang Frosty the Snowman. And then he sang Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. But Snowbaby would not sleep. I can't sleep. Oh, I'm sorry, he said to Snow Mama. I'm so thirsty now. Parched. Snow Mama poured him a cold glass of water with extra ice. But Snowbaby would not sleep. I can't sleep, he said to Snow Papa. The wind, it's too loud. But Snowbaby would not sleep. I can't sleep, he cried. I'm lonely. Please stay with me and keep me company. Please. Snow Mama had an idea. She scooped up the softest, whitest snow and packed it together very tightly. Then Snow Mama and Snow Papa went to work. Snow Papa snipped 2 buttons from his vest. Snow Mama clipped a bit of ribbon from her skirt. Together they made Snowbaby a very special surprise. What's this? A snow doggy, said Snowbaby. Oh my goodness. Y'all, that is the cutest little snow doggy I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. It has my eyes, pointed out Snow Papa, and Snow Mama's smile. It will keep you company, said Snow Mama. Snowbaby curled up under the blankets with Snow Doggy. All was finally quiet and still. But Snow Doggy would not sleep. What's the matter, Snow Doggy? Are you too hot? Oh, I know. Are you thirsty? Is the wind too loud? Do you need someone to sing to you to keep you company? It's okay. I'm here, Snowbaby said, patting Snow Doggy on his frosty little head and drawing him in real close. Let's count the snowflakes till we fall asleep, Snowbaby said, and so they did. Good night, Snowbaby, whispered Snow Mama. Sleep, sweet dreams, Snow Doggy, whispered Snow Papa. Then Snow Mama and Snow Papa tiptoed to their own bed, and finally everyone could, would, and did drift to sleep. Snuggled under their blankets of snow, good night and sweet dreams. Aww. Anybody else ever have a problem sleeping like that? Where everything, the air is wrong, it's too hot, the 1 foot out from the blanket is not cutting it. It's just not.
Many times over.
Mm-hmm. And the bed itches, and then you feel like a crumb. It could be like what is it, The Princess and the Pea? And there's just one little thing, and you're like, what is
a hair sticking me in my skin?
Right. Or you get the one hair that's like on your elbow from when you had your hair up, and you're like, a spider, but it's just you. You're the spider. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even right now, the heat is on in our building. I have the window partially open because I was making pancakes and didn't want the butter to burn in the air, and it's still too hot. I tried to sleep like this last night, and I was still too hot.
Exactly. I think we've all had a Snow Baby situation. Mm-hmm. I think we have. Now we're going to hop, hop, hop into the tale of the Frog and Friends. Celebrating Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve. Oh my goodness, I hadn't even considered that once Christmas comes, the ball drops and then boom, it's 2024. You know what? We're gonna stay right here for right now. Frogs! It's too much. Yes. Oh my goodness. Way too fast. Who said that could happen? That's right. Then Kwanzaa, then the ball drop. It's too much. And then we do it all again. Ha! So we'll all see each other here for next Christmas. Okay, got it. Eve Bunting, Frog and Friends. Oh, that's cute. Little chameleon. 100%. Oh, yes. We're tapping into the holidays. Let's see here. What do Frog and Friends do on Thanksgiving? Frog and his friends loved Thanksgiving. They invited everyone they knew, and even those they did not know. It's a time of love and sharing, Frog said. They had a big, big table. It was a stump of a big, big tree. They always thanked the tree's roots for letting them use it. The birds came and the crickets. Rabbits, children, old and new, they also came. There were so many of them they had to sit on the grass. Hippo came late. I had Thanksgiving dinner at the little zoo, he said, but I'm hungry again. I could eat. The Thanksgiving meal was always a treat. Flies, mealworms, caterpillars, and ants. Kale and wild mushroom salad with watercress dressing. They had ferns and soft grass for Hippo, and to begin they held paws and feet and claws. Then Frog stood. He gave thanks for friends and for happy lives. They were just about to eat when a little tiny voice said, hello? What? Who's that? Frog looked and saw a teeny tiny hedgehog. Hello, he called back. Do you want to come and eat with us? Yes, please, the tiny hedgehog said. I'm on my way to my grandmother's house, and I'm really hungry. Oh, well, come on, Frog said kindly. May we call you Hedgie? Hedgie nodded, and she came a little closer. Then she saw Hippo. Suddenly, her quills went up. She curled into a little spiky ball, and only her head stuck out. Possum screamed. Squirrel scampered to the top of a tree. Raccoon poked one of the hedgehog's quills and yelled, "Ow, that's sharp!" "Little possums," Possum called, "come to Mama. Do not go near the hedgehog." It's all right," Frog said. "Hedgie puts out her quills when she's scared. Her quills keep her safe." Hedgie was looking at Hippo. "I'm scared of him," she said. "He's so big, and his mouth is really big. He could eat me, a little hedgehog just like me." Hippo came real close to her. "I will not hurt you." "Mm-mm," he said. "Hippo is our friend," Frog told her. "He is kind. He is gentle." Oh, I am too," Hedgie whispered. She put her quills down. See me? You're very vulnerable right now." They all moved closer to her. "You have really nice eyes," Squirrel told her. "Yeah, and I really like your nose," Rabbit said. Hippo smiled at Hedgie. "When you are big like me or spiky like you, everyone is a little scared till they get to know you. Come on and sit by me," he told her. "Well, we're real glad to have you, Hedgie," Frog said. "May I also take a doggy bag for my grandmother?" Hedgie asked. "Yes," Frog said. "There's lots of food." He looked all around the table. "I love you all," he said, "and happy Thanksgiving." Aw. On to Frog and Friends, the Christmas tree. "Usually I'm asleep at Christmas," Frog said. "I do like to hibernate, I know. But I would also like to be awake this Christmas. Yeah, it sounds like fun. Will you waken with me?" "Oh, great." Little Mouse, jumping, clapped her paws. Of course I will. Last year I was alone at Christmas, and it was not so merry, I'll tell you that. But now I have friends." She blew kisses all around. Mwah, mwah, mwah. "Will you tell us all about the Christmas tree, Jumping Mouse?" Raccoon asked. "I've heard of them." Little Jumping Mouse perked her ears. She liked to be asked. Frog and Raccoon and Squirrel and Possum and Rabbit and Chameleon felt lucky to have her for a friend. Little Jumping Mouse knew a lot. "It is not because I'm smarter," she said modestly. "It is because I'm a mouse. I'm small. I can go into houses. I can listen, see, smell. I can smell chocolate from like a long way away. Okay?" She licked her lips. Chocolate. "What is chocolate?" Squirrel asked. "It is, Little Jumping Mouse began to explain. "Oh, can we talk about the Christmas tree?" Frog asked. "Is it a tree that you find in the woods?" Jumping Mouse told them. "At Christmas, you bring it into your own house." Raccoon began to look very worried. "We don't have a house big enough for a tree like that." "No, but we have trees all around Frog's Pond," Jumping Mouse said. "It doesn't have to be big. Small is actually better. We can have an outside Christmas tree, too." Possum clapped her paws. Her baby shouted, "Yippee! Yippee!" Frog yawned. "Ah, I will sleep till it's time," he said. On the day before Christmas, they wakened him. Together they chose the perfect tree. Frog stretched. "Now, what is it that we do?" He was still just a little sleepy. "We make the tree pretty," Little Jumping Mouse told them. "Everyone, come tonight. Bring something pretty to hang on our tree," Frog said. Chameleon ran to pet the tree and turned into a lovely shade of green. "Oh, I feel like Christmas already," he said. That night they met by their tree. Squirrel brought a chain of acorns he had strung, and he hung it on a lovely branch. "Oh, that's wonderful," his friend said. Possum brought some red knitted balls. She and one of her little possums had handmade. "Lovely," her friend said. Raccoon brought an orange she had taken from Mr. Black's yard. "Ooh, lovely," they all said. "Oh, and we can share it after Christmas," Raccoon said. Little Jumping Mouse brought something that was flat and golden. "It's a square of chocolate," she said. "It is covered with golden paper, and we can share it too after Christmas." Chameleon brought red berries from the holly bush. Rabbit brought a bright orange carrot with a ferny top. "Ooh, lovely," they said. Frog brought the lid of an empty can. Somebody threw it away," he said. "It shone silver in the moonlight, so I liked it." "Ooh, lovely," they told him, and then they lay on their bellies all around their tree. There's one thing missing," Little Jumping Mouse said. "There must always be a star on top of the tree." "Oh no, oh dear." "Wait!" Frog pointed up. In the sky below the moon, a star hung, and it was right above their tree. "So lovely! Oh my goodness, so lovely!" they whispered back and forth. Then they all stood and held hands and sang, "Old MacDonald had a farm," while the night and the moon and the Christmas star listened. The end of the Christmas story. And now we learn how Frog and friends do New Year's. I know, little mouse is so cute. She's precious. Sing it, Serenity. New Year's Eve with Frog and friends. Frog and his friends were playing a game of tag when Little Jumping Mouse rushed over to them. "I have news," she said. Frog could tell she was excited. Her nose twitched and her whiskers quivered. "News?" Frog asked, and he and his friends sat down to listen. They loved mouse news. Little Jumping Mouse was so good at slipping into people's houses. She was good at listening and telling, and she sat down right next to Frog. "Two girls were talking," Jumping Mouse said. "I listened, okay? And they said New Year's Day is tomorrow, and tonight is New Year's Eve. And they said it's the best night of the whole year." That's what they said. "Better than Christmas Eve?" Raccoon asked. "Well, I mean, no, but it's almost as good." Yeah, Jumping Mouse said. "Everybody wears like a funny hat or something, and then at like the sound of this big bell, they all just like throw their hats into the air, right? And then that's like the start of the new year." "I have heard the big bell, yes," Frog said. "I mean, I really just didn't know what it meant." "On New Year's Eve, they even dance," Jumping Mouse went on. "They sing, they party, and they listen for that bell. That bell is important." Oh. Little possums jumped up and down and turned somersaults. "Oh, party, party, party!" they shouted. Rabbit clapped their paws. "Oh, we all love a good party here." Her babies joined in. "Yes, yes, yes." "There's more," Jumping Mouse said. "New Year's Day is soup's fun too. The old year is over, right? And everybody's happy." Frog frowned. "Why? I liked the old year." "Well, on New Year's Day, you make like a promise to change, right? You promise to like be better," Jumping Mouse told them. "What if we don't want to change?" Squirrel asked. "I don't want to," Raccoon said. "I like me the way I am." "Well, I like you the way you are too," Mr. Rabbit said. "No, I don't want to change," she added. "What if my little rabbits didn't know me anymore? Oh gosh." The little rabbits began to cry. "Don't change, Mama, don't." "I won't," Rabbit said. And she pulled them in real close for a nice hug. Frog and his friends looked at each other. Who wants to change?" Frog asked. Not a single paw or claw or foot went up into that air. "Who wants their friends to change?" Not a single paw nor claw nor foot went up into that air that time either. Little Jumping Mouse hung her head. I thought that this was going to be a good thing," she said. "Oh, it's good," Frog said. "It's super good. See, we like us the way we are, and that makes us real true friends." So they ran to hug each other. "So," Frog said, "let's forget New Year's Day. We don't have to do everything people do. Who would like to have a New Year's Eve nobody changes party?" Every paw and claw and foot went up into that air. They were busy the rest of the day, making party hats, and at night they meet again. There were hats of all kinds, leaf hats, water lily hats, tin can hats, fern hats, bird nest hats, and all of them were lovely. They played Ring Around the Rosie, and sometimes their hats fell off. Squirrel lent his tin can hat so they could play Kick the Can. They sang and danced the hickety-poo while the moonlight danced in the bare tree branches. When the big bell rang for New Year's Day, none of them heard it. As they lay curled together the real way true friends do, all of them content and all of them fast asleep. The end. A Frog and Friends celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve. Oh, that was cute. So cute. Oh my goodness, we got some extra time. Let me see here. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, let's see. That was good. I liked that. Let's see. What's this? Oh, we got the Animal Christmas Carol. Let's see. It's gonna be pretty. It was the day before Christmas. The merry old town was never merrier. Silver bells hung from every shop window. Happy holiday shoppers greeted one another warmly. The smell of Christmas trees and hot cider filled the air. The only one not happy at Christmas time, or any other time for that matter, was Ebenezer Scrooge. The grouchy old goat was never known to wish anyone well, or put a coin in a beggar's cup. Christmas? Pah! Wah, humbug! He shouted at the carolers who were singing in front of his office. Ebenezer Scrooge cared only for one thing: money. Although he was rich, Scrooge was too stingy to spend one more penny than he had to on fuel, so he kept his office as cold as his own heart. Serenity, a mean man. Bob Cratchit, Scrooge's clerk, sat shivering at his desk. He tried to warm his hands by the flame of his candle. Poor Bob. He worked long hours for very little pay, even on Christmas Eve. The clock on the wall finally struck 7. The workday was over. Yes! Bob Cratchit put down his pen, blew out his candle, and walked over to Mr. Scrooge's desk. "Sir," he said timidly, tomorrow's Christmas Day, and I would really like to spend it with my family." Old Scrooge hated the word spend. "Ah! Christmas! It's just an excuse for you to pick my pockets," he snapped. "Take the day off if you must, but you be at work extra early the next morning." "Thank you, sir," Bob said happily, "and Merry Christmas, sir." He left quickly before Scrooge could change his mind. Bob Cratchit's son, Peter, and Tiny Tim were waiting outside for him. Tim could not walk, so Bob hoisted the youngster onto his shoulders. They hurried home, stopping only long enough to slide upon the ice and to peek in the toy shop window. Of all the wonderful toys Tiny Tim saw, there was only one thing he really wanted: a pair of shiny silver ice skates. "Next year, my legs are going to be strong, Papa," he said, "and then I'll be able to skate with Peter and all my friends." "Perhaps," said his father, brushing a tear from his eye. At home, the three were hugged and welcomed by the rest of the Cratchit family, while old Ebenezer Scrooge went home all alone to his dark and empty house. Later that night, as Scrooge sat in bed counting his piles of money, a strange thing happened. The bedroom window suddenly swung open, and in flew a snowy white bear holding a golden wand. He was all dressed in red and wore a bright green jolly wreath around his head. Old Scrooge thought that he was being robbed. He held tight onto the purse round his neck. Who are you?" he asked, "and what do you want?" "I'm the spirit of Christmas, Ebenezer," said the jolly bear, "and I'm here to help put the joy of Christmas back into your heart." Before Scrooge had a chance to object, the spirit of Christmas took him by the hand and waved his wand. Suddenly they were flying out of the bedroom window and over the town. The look of surprise on Ebenezer's face made the bear laugh. Below them, everyone, both rich and poor, were bustling in and out of shops, happily calling "Merry Christmas" to friends and strangers alike. "Look down, Ebenezer," said the spirit. "What do you see?" "I see time and money being wasted," grumbled Scrooge. "Christmas is nothing but a humbug." Bear shook his head. "This job is going to be harder than I thought," he said. The spirit of Christmas reached inside his robe and took out a clock. Its hands were spinning backward. "We are going back in time to another Christmas," the bear announced. "Close your eyes and hold on tight." Poof! Scrooge opened his eyes and looked down. He saw a laughing little goat pulling a gleaming new sled. "That's me!" he shouted. "And my sister Fan!" The bear smiled. "You looked very happy, Ebenezer," he said. "Oh, yes," Scrooge replied. "I really wanted that sled for Christmas, and Fan helped me write a letter to Santa. She was the best sled puller, or she said I was the best sled puller in town." Moving ahead in time, Scrooge next saw himself as a young clerk, working at his first job. "Is that Mr. Fezziwing, your boss?" asked the spirit of Christmas. "Yes!" cried Scrooge. "A kinder soul never lived. Every Christmas Mr. Fezziwig gave a party. He made everyone stop work and join in on the fun." "These parties must have cost him quite a pretty penny," said the spirit, shaking his head. "Wasn't that a waste of time and money?" Scrooge did not answer. But the spirit of Christmas knew he was thinking of his own clerk, Bob Cratchit. The bear waved his wand again, and poof! They returned to the present. Now Scrooge and the spirit stood in front of the Cratchits' humble home. They looked through the wall as if there wasn't one there. Bob Cratchit and his family were sitting around a small, cozy fire, singing Christmas carols. "They seem happy," said Scrooge softly. "They are," replied the bear. "No thanks to your stinginess, though. Bob could use a raise in pay. You know he could. It's a wonder that he can keep food on the table with the pitiful salary you give him." When the singing was done, Bob lifted his glasses in a toast. "Merry Christmas to all," he said, "and especially Mr. Scrooge." "And God bless us, everyone," added Tiny Tim in a very tiny voice. Ebenezer Scrooge looked at the sick little boy, and he was truly sorry for the way that he had treated Bob and so many others. "Please, tell me Christmas isn't over," he begged the spirit. "Before I thought of myself, but now I have the Christmas spirit, and I want to share it with everyone." The spirit of Christmas said nothing, but there was a twinkle in his eye. He waved his wand, and they were once again flying home. Scrooge looked down and saw that the shops in town were open, and people were running to and fro with their bundles. "It's still Christmas Eve," he said, pulling at the bear's hand. "Hurry, spirit, I need your help. I've got a lot of shopping to do." Old Scrooge had never felt younger. The spirit of Christmas followed him as he raced from store to store, buying one Christmas gift after another. Scrooge bought a new coat and scarf for Bob Cratchit, a bonnet for Mrs. Cratchit, and mountains of toys for the Cratchit children. He also bought a special present for his new friend. "Just what I needed," the bear smiled, "but you really shouldn't have." Scrooge stopped to shake hands with all the shopkeepers and shoppers, wishing each one a Merry Christmas. He reached into his purse and gave the children shiny new coins. The townspeople stared in surprise and whispered to one another, "Was this really Ebenezer Scrooge?" Quicker than a jingle, the spirit of Christmas brought Ebenezer and his packages safely home. "You no longer need my help," said the bear. "You now have the true meaning of Christmas in your heart. Keep it with you always, or I may have to visit you again." Then, with one wave of his wand, the spirit flew off into the snowy night. "I will! I will!" called Mr. Scrooge. "Oh, thank you, Spirit, and Merry Christmas!" Early the next day, Christmas Day, Ebenezer Scrooge knocked on the Cratchits' front door. "Merry Christmas, Bob," Scrooge said shyly when his clerk opened the door. "And a Happy New Year, too." Bob Cratchit could not believe his eyes, or his ears for that matter. "Merry Christmas, sir," he stammered. Would you like to join us for Christmas dinner?" "Oh, I would love to," Scrooge said delightedly. It was the most glorious day Scrooge had ever known. There were songs and games, dancing, and the most delicious dinner he had ever tasted. But what made Ebenezer happiest of all was the look on Tiny Tim's face when he opened one of his presents and found a pair of shiny silver skates. From that day forward, Scrooge did all he could to help the Cratchits. He became a better boss to Bob, a second father to Tiny Tim, and found a doctor who made Tim healthy enough and strong. In return, Scrooge gained a family that loved him for who he was, a gruff old goat with a heart of gold. Good old Ebenezer Scrooge kept Christmas in his heart every day and never said bah humbug ever again. The end of the Animals' Christmas Carol.